Hello guys, welcome back once again. It's me, Jim Samurai, and today we are reviewing the game between Wesley and Richard Rapport, which was played in Tata Steel Masters in 2017. Wesley had white pieces. He started with knight f3. It's already on the board. Knight f6 from Richard. g3, b6, d4, bishop b7, c4, e6. Just some Queen's Gambit, I think, the old main line. Bishop to e7, castle's kingside, knight to c3, and knight to e4, putting the piece onto e4 square, because the idea of bishop b7 right here is actually to protect this square, to put a piece in the future right here. Alright, bishop d2, bishop to f6, rook c1, and now knight takes d2, queen takes d2, and d6, with following the ideas of knight d2 and e5. That's the most common idea here for black. d5, blocking the strong bishop right now, and now he's a bad bishop. So black needs to find a way to exchange its bishop or make this bishop better. e5 right now, the best move, I think, a logical move. e4, knight d7, h4, and now a5, protecting the square, and making protecting the square b4 to make the square on c5 safe for the knight to jump in. Bishop to h3, knight to c5, and now king to g2, and now someone here, white, didn't play very well, because right now, actually black managed to change the white bishop. So they managed to do that. Rook h1, bishop takes h3, rook takes h3, queen d7, developing, knight to h2, following some ideas, I think g4 or g5, and then the rook will work on the file. So Rapport played right, h5, f3 right now, want to play g4, g6, the right move again, g4, and now king h7, getting away the king from this file. Rook h1, rook g8, putting the rook an eye on the white king. Queen d1, protecting this pawn, so the knight can come to the better squares. Bishop to g7, knight to f1, as we said, bishop to h6, making the bishop better, king f2, and now bishop c1. That's a really brilliant move. That's a beautiful move, because right now white can't take on the bishop because there is knight d3, and now the bishop is attacking the b2 pawn. So white played knight to g3. If here b3, then you just play bishop to b2, attacking the knight, and now it's difficult to find a good square for the knight, because if you go back, then there is some problems. There is queenside right now. No, after knight e2, there's just the pawn is hanging on g4. Even if knight a4, you just destroy your structures, not very good. And knight on b5, it's not very good, it's not doing anything on b5. And black just has a normal position, a very good position. So knight g3, I think, is the best move. Now bishop takes b2, knight b5. Maybe so Wesley just gave the pawn to attack the black king. Bishop to c1 again, to come for the defense. G takes h5, and now bishop to f4, knight to c3 back, and now f5, very good move. And now pawn takes, rook takes, and knight takes f5. And right now, after rook a g8, black is actually better. They're a lot better, because now they just want to play rook to g2, giving a check on the king. The king needs to go back, and then they just can put the rook on d2, then the other rook comes to d2, and this is just a total distraction for white. So white played king to f1 to avoid the check on g2. b5 here, a brilliant move. That's the best move because b5 is actually a good move, and you'll see in the future why b5 was such a good move. Takes with the pawn, logical move, yeah. Rook g2, coming to the 7th rank. Queen b1, because now it's actually very difficult to find some good moves here for white. So apparently queen b1 I think is a normal move. And now queen f7. This move, queen f7, was a big mistake. In this position, there is a move that black, after the move, can win. Can you spot it? You can pause the video and try to find the move. Alright, so here black could play rook to d2. And after rook to d2, the other rook is coming, alright. And there are a lot of problems because you actually can't avoid that. And if you try to avoid that with a move like, I don't know, knight to e2, to close this connection of the rooks on the 7th rank, then there is a move knight to d3. And if white just plays something, I don't know, a4, now it's the beautiful move, and now it shows why b5 in the previous moves were good, because now the move is c6, and this wins for black. Because right now, if you take with the pawn, or if you take with a d pawn, there is check. There is not check. There is queen a7, and the mate is unavoidable. The b6 is not working because you just take it, and there is a mate. If you take it, there is just a mate on d1, and if you take with the other pawn, it's just the same thing. And now there is just nothing actually. You can't actually just change the queens. There is just a mate on d1 again. So apparently here, Rapport made the mistake and played queen f7, which mistake cost him the game. Knight to e2, defending from rook d2, queen g6, and now knight to e7. I think this move Rapport missed. Rook to f2, trying for some attack, but Rapport knows that he's losing, so he tries some attacking moves. King takes, but now there is nothing. I think there is nothing for black. King e1, rook g3 right now, and rook takes, and now rook g1, queen takes f3, knight takes, queen to check, knight d2, check here, and now just queen takes d3, and right now just white play knight to g1, knight f6 wants to play. Black needs to avoid that. Now just h5, and the pawn is coming. King h8, rook to g6, protecting the square for the knight, right here. And now check, queen takes e4, knight f6, check, king e3, and black resigned. Why they resigned? Why actually they resigned? Because there is mate in 5, or in 6, I'm not sure at all. If there is mate in 5, and that's why they resigned. Because there is also a mate right here, yeah? And so, no, this mate is actually unavoidable, because the only check, if black tries to give some checks, for example, queen c5, yeah, queen c5, then you just play king f3, and there are no longer any checks. Yeah, you can give an a3, and now you play king g2, and there are no longer any checks, and the mate on g8 is unavoidable. So other checks, I don't see any other checks. Queen a3 maybe, but there is the same thing. It is the same thing, and there are no hit checks. But the mate on 5 is actually like that. You give check here, king f2, one move, second move, third move, yeah, like that. And now something like that. Fourth move, and fifth move. That's a mate in 5, which is forced actually. So yeah, that's the mate on g8 is actually unavoidable. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to smash that like button, it really does me a lot. Anyway guys, see you in the next video. Peace.